Hello, and thanks for joining us on this week's episode of For All Things Lexington, the only show dedicated to Lexington, South Carolina, and where a spade is always called a spade. Here, we'll talk to and about people, places, groups, things to do, and places to go in and around Lexington, South Carolina. I'm your host, Angela Barrett, and this is For All Things Lexington.
This episode was brought to you by the real estate agents at Home Matters, building on service, relationships, and on what matters to you. Find out how you matter and how they can help you with buying and selling your home at homematterssc.com.
Thanks, Alex, for being here today. I appreciate it. I know you're busy. You just came from one job and headed to another one.
Going to another.
Yeah. So tell me, Super Soaker Pressure Washing.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with the name?
It really just kind of came together with having to do with washing houses, and kind of bringing back that, playful super soakers, playing with water.
Yeah.
And just something I was like,
I like it. Yeah.
Try to incorporate all the colors with it as well, the yellows, blues, and greens.
Sure. And now, when did you start your business?
Started in December of 2020, and then it started picking up a little bit more the next year, so 2021.
That's kind of a cold time of year.
It is, yeah.
To start.
But thankfully, in our area, we can wash mostly all year round.
Yeah, true.
So.
Except for this past December.
Yeah. Well, it's cold.
It was quite cold.
Yeah.
That's right.
We try to keep it above 45 degrees, but usually during the day it's nice. So I did one in probably like 29 degrees out, and I will never do it again.
Yeah, no, I imagine not. So now, you pressure wash both commercial and residential?
Yep. Yeah.
So do you have some commercial businesses now that you just do on a regular basis?
I don't have any. I was doing O'Hare's on occasion. Usually when they have an event coming up, I'll end up I'll go and see if they need, the sidewalks and the Haven, or what was the Haven, but O'Hara's Bakery is now.
Right.
And do their stuff. I've done a few things on Main Street. The biggest account around that I did was Blowfish Stadium.
Oh, yes.
That was.
Yeah. A bunch of the chamber members go out there, I think, tomorrow, and he's
got there.
Show us around. Yeah.
So he does a lunch with them.
Yeah.
Lunch with everybody. So.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Now, speaking of O'Hare's, you bartended there for a little while, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Little moonlight.
Yeah, when I first got up here, I was still bartending. I bartended for 10 years at least,
Yeah, it's good money. You really can't beat it.
Yeah,
but,
it's hard to get away from
that. It's a hard life.
That quick cash flow,
That's right. That's right. So tell me the types of services. When I say services, you have different packages, I guess.
Yeah. So mainly a house wash, is what we do. That's the majority. If someone wants a driveway added on, or fences, or roofs, we even do those. We'll add those on.
You can do roofs.
You can do roofs, and they clean up nicely. It actually extends the life of the roof, so that when everyone comes around knocking on your door saying, "Oh, you got roof damage."
Yeah.
Sometimes you just clean it up. It actually isn't damaged. It's just.
Oh, well, I didn't know that actually could be done. To be honest.
All different types.
And so it's all types of surfaces. From brick,
concrete, wood. Wood is actually, it's a longer process to clean the wood, but it's one of my favorite because of the turnout. It comes out looking so good afterwards.
Right. You're talking about real wood, not
real wood, not hardy plank, but we do have hardy plank as well.
Sure.
Whatever the surfaces.
What about stucco?
We can do it. That's usually a soft wash that we do want. You don't really want to use a whole lot of heavy pressure on that, so soft washing as well.
Okay. What's the difference in a soft wash and a pressure wash?
Soft washing, it actually allows you to apply a higher percentage of chemical if you need it, whatever you're using, soaps and stuff. And then it also is usually under 100 PSI, meaning that you're not really getting a whole lot of pressure on there. It's just really letting the soaps and everything work, so that you're not damaging anything.
I gotcha.
Where sometimes pressure washing, I've seen some of it where they can take oxidation off siding, and you're like, got to go back and fix that. And you're
right.
Like, ooh, I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah.
But we don't get that close.
Yeah, that's true. So, you said the biggest job, I guess, was the Blowfish Stadium.
That was the biggest one I've had up here. I did a job down at Hilton Head last December. Again, nice weather. So
Sure.
But,
now, do you do in both places?
I don't normally.
Right.
If I have people who are like, hey, can you come wash, and I can get a few things lined up,
Right.
I'll bring my stuff when I go firefighting down there. Then I'll bring my stuff down.
You're from Bluffton.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you moved here when?
Probably about 3 years ago. Truly 3 years ago.
Right.
I think it was
And
like
what
July.
brought you here?
Girlfriend.
Aw. Now, you have 4 kids.
Yes.
2 of your own, 2 stepchildren, right?
Yes. Yep.
And one of your stepdaughters does archery.
Yeah, she's with Carolina Springs Elementary, and it's doing really good since she started last year. Has just moved up.
Yeah.
And then we're actually going to Kentucky this weekend because they have nationals that they qualified for. So
Wow.
go watch her shoot on the national stage.
Yeah. Wow. When you were telling me about that, I had no idea that schools had archery.
Yeah.
Much less, teams that go to nationals.
Right. Yeah. So
Now, how did she get started in that?
the coach that was at Pillion went over to Carolina Springs Elementary and then asked if she wanted to do a summer camp, like a few days as a little camp that they did. And she liked what she saw there and was like, I'd like you to try out for the team. And
Yeah.
tried out for the team. And it literally has just been like from where she started to where she's at now. It's just such a huge difference. So.
Right. Now, you're also a firefighter.
Yes.
And with Bluffton.
With Bluffton, yeah. So I make that every
Yeah.
third day going back and forth. It's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
But
A lot of windshield time.
yes.
Now, how long have you been a firefighter?
10 years.
And always with Bluffton?
Always Bluffton. Yep.
And I think I saw somewhere that there was an academy.
Yeah, we actually it's something
leadership.
that we just started with a leadership academy for some of our senior firefighters, just to kind of get our department in a better direction and having guys make proper decisions, right decisions, and holding themselves more accountable, really.
Sure.
So it's just something that they've put on, and since some of the guys who were already in the officer seat through and quicker, but now they're doing it, and everyone that is moving up in the ranks is going to have to go through that academy before they can take that lieutenant's exam and move up to an officer's position.
Right. Now, what is your position?
With my department, I'm a firefighter 4, which is a backup supervisor driver.
I gotcha.
I primarily drive, but I rent the seat a lot.
Now, do you rescue kitties?
I have rescued kitties. No, it's something we don't do often because,
Sure.
cats usually come down out of trees.
Yeah, I had one at my old home where we moved from, and it was my neighbor's cat. She would climb up there at least 3 or 4 times, and the fire department would not help us.
Yeah.
We had to call the tree, the guys that cut down trees, a tree climber.
The cherry pickers.
Oh my goodness, he must have come at least 4 or 5 times. She would not come down. She'd get way up there and would not come down. And bless her heart, sometimes she had to spend the night, but made me sad. But she eventually got her down.
I've been on one call where we rescued a cat, but they just rescued one from a drain pipe the other day.
Oh, I saw that.
So that's a big one.
Yeah. I also saw where y'all did a local Heroes Day, so the kids were there. And
just recently we've been doing a lot more community down there, getting out and about, which is nice. Something that kind of led me from childhood to becoming a firefighter.
Sure.
Like they were in the schools all the time. So I was like, oh, firefighting.
Yeah.
This is the best. This is what I want to do.
Right.
Didn't know it until I really got into it. It was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's something that a group down there had put on, and it was about 5 different schools with a few different classes that came through, and fire, police, EMS all set up. We're reading books, putting gear on, letting them go touch a truck,
get in the fire truck.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm sure that was fun.
Of course.
Now, Cafe Elliott. Explain.
The home cafe.
The home cafe.
The kitchen.
Now, is that because you're a good cook?
I guess it must be. I really don't come up with the ideas for what we cook.
Yeah.
It's usually my girlfriend. She's like, I really want to try this. I was like, I've never cooked that. She's like, that's never stopped us before. Okay.
Right.
So it's whatever she like brings to the table. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I'll try it, And
Yeah.
so
do you do most of the cooking?
I do most of the cooking at home. And then at the firehouse,
I was going to say, yeah.
It's a mixture of, we take turns.
Now, you probably have to do it in much bigger. Well, I don't know. You have 4 kids.
I was going to say, yeah, other than not feeding, 6 grown men at one time, it's still feeding teenagers who also eat like grown men sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So what was, you said that she does, I guess, picking out, and you just kind of cook it.
Yeah, she'll find some, she'll like, I kind of want this now. It's like, okay. And then she'll find a recipe for it, send it to me. We'll go get everything and I'll try my hand at it. And there's certain things I've gotten better at cooking. I'm like, we'll do this again. I don't have to look at the recipe. And I was like, we'll do that because it's so yummy.
Yeah.
Tuna
now, do you
tacos.
grill a lot or is it all? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, we're definitely meat eaters.
So if people want their house pressure washed, how do they get in touch with you?
The biggest way that I found lately has been Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I do have a Google page as well, so you can find me on Google. But other than that, just give me a call. I mean, every time I post something, it's here's my number.
Yeah,
call or message.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It's quick. I don't have to, when I'm doing quotes, I don't have to come out and see the house most of the time. With some of the newer developments, the roads necessarily aren't online yet, so I could be like, oh, where are they at?
Right.
So I'll have to go out and maybe take a look. But if I can get a basis of what the material is the house is made out of, or the square footage, I can base a number off of that. I've tried to move my numbers from doing it from a square footage to an hourly because I know how much like a 2,000 square foot house or 2,500 square feet, I know how quick I can get that done.
Right.
And so,
well, I guess it would depend on how dirty it is.
Of course, right? There's some of that's involved, right?
Right. Yeah. So that would make sense.
Prep time with covering up cameras and light fixtures and doors.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you about what was your prep and how you.
It depends on. It really does depend on what other materials the house has with it. So like stained doors. I'm not going to get anywhere near a stained door. Right. I'm going to cover that whole thing up with plastic and not get any water or any chemical or anything on it. Certain light fixtures are okay, just to get the stuff on them because that's just the way they come, mostly with standard homes. Some of the more custom homes will cover light fixtures up, but with doorknobs, all that, I cover it.
And what about the, I know when I've had my house pressure washed, it always seeps like under the door.
Yeah, we'll tape the bottom of the door if we need to. We'll tape all that up so we're not getting any water in. I just did a home the other day that had single pane windows, some older style. So had to tape everything up around that. And so sometimes the seals on these things are just not doing what they need to do.
Right.
Stop from rain, but not water pushing at the
I don't even think they make single pane.
I know.
So those are pretty old.
Yeah.
And what about the types of chemicals and plants and stuff?
We use sodium hypochlorite, which is the industry standard for getting all the algae really off the side of homes.
Right.
And it works really well. It's quick. But we'll water plants before, during, and after if we need to, and even cover the plants if we have to cover them. If they're so close to the house that we really don't want to hurt them. And kind of knowing the types of plants helps as well because certain plants do better than others. So it's just one of those things where like, I'd rather not mess with that because I know that plant. Thankfully, I've not had that much of an issue with plants and grass. I had where I started from with a buddy of mine who was a firefighter. He started the business, and that's how I kind of got into it.
Right.
And brought me on, and he had some guys that he had worked with before, and they killed some plants.
So you kind of worked with him.
Yeah.
Killed some. Yeah.
I was like,
So you worked I guess, in Bluffton with him for a while before you did this.
Yes,
So it wasn't
yeah.
you just decided,
No,
hey,
no,
I'm
yeah.
going to go out.
I'm going to learn how to do this. No, it was like I already had everything. I actually bought some of his equipment when I first started. So
Right.
it was nice because we talked about franchising off, but it was just
Right.
it wasn't going to work out for both of us.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. So now, what do you do for hobbies or when you have time?
When
and
I
you're not?
have time. When we have time. I mean, we are.
Other than cook.
I'm a water person, so I love being on the water, in the water. Growing up next to the beach, we were at the beach all the time,
Right.
surfing, whatever we could. Hurricane season, so
Right.
not the safest conditions, but the best waves.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I grew up doing that, and then wakeboarding if I can. But we love just
Right.
get on a boat. Go
So
on
you
the
go
boat.
out Lake Murray and
Always.
now you guys have a boat?
We don't have a boat. We're still renting, and I'm like, ooh, we need a boat. We need a boat. We need a boat.
Right.
But we'll see if that comes
Yeah,
along soon.
with boats come a lot of
Of
other
course,
things.
right? That's yeah. So we've talked about maybe
You'll
joining
pick
a
up a
club.
lot of friends you didn't even know you had.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing when you buy a truck.
That's right. Or,
can you move
put
this?
in a pool.
Yes.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have friends you didn't
That's
know
really
you had.
that's our next big project is putting a pool in.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, with 4 kids, that would help with some entertainment, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how old are the children?
2 14-year-olds, 2 14-year-old boys, 10-year-old girl, and then we have a 18-month-old girl.
Wow.
We started over.
I would say you did. Yeah. So 2 girls, 2 boys. And now the 2 14-year-olds, they're not twins. One
No,
is hers.
yeah,
And
one's hers,
yours.
yeah, and one's mine.
Well, that's interesting, though. But yeah, you do have to cook a lot with 2 14-year-old
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, absolutely.
a lot of food.
Yeah, right. Well, I want to thank you for coming today, and we'll make sure that we get your number and Facebook page out there
Yeah,
for everybody
sure.
to see. And I guess you can get back to, I know you've got another
Yeah,
job to do.
yeah,
so.
I've got some equipment I got to go clean.
Yeah.
I've been doing with a company up here, so.
But thank you so much for doing this. This has
Yeah.
been fantastic.
Yeah, this is what I just love
Yeah.
being here, you know?
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to be a guest on our show or have a person, business, charity, organization, idea, or an event that Lexington needs to know more about, email us local@forallthingslexington.com. That's local@4 allthingslexington.com.
This episode was brought to you by the real estate agents at Home Matters, building on service, relationships, and on what matters to you. Find out how you matter and how they can help you with buying and selling your home at homematterssc.com.